Hi, everyone. My name is Jairo, and I'm one of the customer success managers here at Snyk. Today, to help me through this conversation, I have my colleague, Tati, who's another customer success manager at Snyk. Today, we're going to talk through the team plan and what our recommendations are when you're starting to deploy this to your organization. To kick us off, Tati, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what is included in the team plan?
Yes, great. So basically with the team plan, you have unlimited testing, you have integration with your CI/CD pipeline, you have the priority score, IDE plugins, the Jira integration, and we're also scanning now for license compliance issues. Do you want to share a little more on how customers typically implement Snyk?
Yeah, of course, Sati. So you could think of it as a three-phase approach. You have visibility, stop the bleeding, and working through your backlog. The visibility stage is really learning about your issues and building that software bill of materials. The stop the bleeding is really about essentially drawing a line in the sand and saying, hey, I'm no longer going to be accepting any new vulnerabilities into my production. And then the working through the backlog is taking what we've learned from the visibility stage and starting to triage those issues to get them remediated. So I know that in each phase, there's specific features that you might want to consider enabling to kind of help you through them. Tati, did you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about what features are available in the visibility stage?
Yes. So first of all, we have the severity that it's tied up to the vulnerabilities. The severity is related to the CVSS score. So let's say CVSS score is a 9 for one vulnerability, then that vulnerability will be marked as critical. We have also a threshold for the high severity, medium, and low vulnerabilities. But also the Snyk team came up with the priority score, which goes from 0 to 1,000. And it's not only built by the CVSS score and severity of that vulnerability, but it also takes in consideration the context, like the mature exploit of the vulnerability, if it has a fix available, and some other values. We also are now scanning for license issues. Mm-hmm. So you can actually change the severity of a license if you want to do it. You can do that on the settings page, and just ask your legal team which license issues, what licenses are allowed in your projects and which ones are not, and then go ahead and change them accordingly. What other features would you like to share with everybody about the visibility stage?
Yeah, during the visibility stage, it's important to really just kind of learn and start planning out what you're going to remediate later on. So I think one of the important features would be the filters features in the projects tab. There's a couple of filters here that you can take advantage of. So for example, you have the priority score, similar to what you talked to. You could go ahead and filter issues by that. There's also the fixability filter, which you could filter by, is the issue fixable? Is there a partial fix, or is there no fix available? Another filter would be the exploit maturity. Is it a mature issue? Is it a proof of concept issue? Or is there no data on it? And then the last filter you can take advantage of is the open, the patched, or the ignore, meaning, hey, what is the status of this? What is the status of this issue? So Tati, you've talked through the visibility stage. Do you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about the stop the bleeding stage?
Yes. So as you explained before, the idea of the next stage is to stop introducing new vulnerabilities in your projects. And as we explained, there are features that will help you with that. Mm-hmm. So this is actually one of my favorite features, which is called Snyk Test on PR. So what this feature will do is start blocking PRs that are introducing new vulnerabilities within your projects. You can decide it to fail only for high severity issues. You can fail when issues are have a fix available, or you could also set your own threshold on your pipeline. How do you want to share more about how customers should implement this feature?
Yeah, of course. So this is a really awesome feature. And you could enable it for all your projects at one within your organizations, or you could go ahead and enable it on a specific test, on a specific file, which is what the recommended action is. So in other words, we would recommend going into your file, and then from there enabling the Snyk test on PR for just that file, and starting with just your critical projects at first. And then from there, you can go ahead and enable it for all your other projects or for the entire organization.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
So Tati, so now the next phase here is the working through the backlog. And just as a reminder, the concept here is essentially grabbing what we've learned in the visibility stage and starting to triage some of these issues. Do you want to go ahead and tell us what features someone could use here?
Yes, of course. So there is another feature that will help you through this stage, and it's called the automatic fix PR. So Snyk will open fix PRs for those vulnerabilities that have a fix available, and you will be able to check it and decide if you want to merge it. Snyk will suggest the minimal upgrade of the direct dependency that will fix those vulnerabilities in the transitive dependencies. I believe the approach here will be the same as the one we explained on the Snyk test on PRs. So basically, you want to start small and deploy it towards all the organization later on. You can select a specific file, enable it there, and once you feel confident with the feature and you have a good process built in, you can start rolling it out to the rest of the files. Jairo, which other features can help us out during this specific stage?
Yeah, one feature that I really like is our Jira integration. So the idea here is that you would integrate Jira into the Snyk and you would be able to triage these issues to other team members where they can go ahead and investigate, review, and then remediate the issue. Now, Tati, now that we've talked through the backlog of issues, what would you recommend here for customers to do?
Yeah, we see a lot of customers actually assigning 3 to 5% of their sprints to fixing issues. And this is why the Jira, it's so important at this stage. It will allow you to go through that stage smoothly.
Yeah, and kind of start building it onto your sprints, right? Like that's something, an action you could take.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you want to summarize the features that we just went through?
Yeah, of course. So again, it's 3 phases: visibility, stop the bleeding, and working through the backlog. In the visibility stage, you could definitely take advantage of the prioritization score, the project filters, and the license policies to really learn about your issues. Then when you move into the stop the bleeding, we would recommend enabling the Snyk test on PRs. However, we would recommend enabling it for just a couple files first, and then from there, enabling it for your entire organization. And then you go through the work through the backlog. Here you have the autofix PR, which again, we would recommend enabling it for just specific files at first, and then enabling it for your entire organization. Also, there is the Jira integration that you can take advantage of here, where you're able to triage these issues that were found and start working through that backlog and dedicating some time of your sprint to remediating Snyk issues. So Tati, now that we've kind of talked through the deployment of Snyk and what features, do you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about what we can do to help enable other developers?
Yes, so to reduce the cost of fixing, we typically recommend to test your projects as early as possible in your SDLC. And for that, we have the IDE plugins available for any of the JetBrains, VS Code, and some others that you can see on the integration page. And also you can test early from using the Snyk CLI. What else would you recommend for developers to do?
What I would recommend here, Tati, is to go ahead and definitely join the Snyk Community Workshop. So the Snyk Community Workshop is a workspace where other customers will go ahead and join and be able to post questions, learn about upcoming events that Snyk is hosting. So for example, they can go ahead and learn about Snyk's office hours, where we'll go ahead and cover a specific topic and then answer some additional questions. Other than that though, Tati, what else do you recommend to take action on now?
Yes, great. So what now, right? So first of all, we have great sessions in the Snyk call. So if you're looking for language-specific best practices or anything related to implementation, you can just go ahead and see what talks are available on the SnykCon. Then, as you will explain, just join the Slack Snyk community to learn when the office hours are, to network with some other customers, hear best practices, new features. Then bookmark Snyk Knowledge Center for additional resources. And if you happen to need technical support, feel free to open a ticket with support at snyk.io. So I think that's all for us now. So thank you so much for joining the session today.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.